And we're live.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Masters of the Galaxy podcast. I'm Brian Ozone, and I am with Josh Mead. What's going on, brother?
Nothing much. Before we start, I need to talk about something.
Sure, go ahead.
After the last podcast was aired on the Facebook forums, somebody had mentioned that I was not correct when I said that Skeletor had the respect and loyalty of his minions versus Mum Ra.
Okay.
And now I responded in a way that was, while not necessarily mean, was not gracious. And I need to apologize for that first. But I realized after sitting and thinking, they were right. I can't remember the names because there's so much going on with Facebook. It just kind of
sometimes with the computer and everything, sometimes like speech doesn't translate well.
Right.
So you also got to take that into consideration. Unfortunately,
I should have been more gracious anyway. Even there's no excuse for it. I'm not going to blow it off. I apologize that I wasn't kinder in my response. I was very defensive. And the worst part was that as I was being defensive, I started to realize I was actually incorrect when I said that.
Double dose of wrong.
Yeah. So it's not that I was actually just wrong completely. But if I say 4 plus 4 equals 8, I'm right. If I say it's 9, I'm wrong, even though I don't say it's 4 plus 4 plus 1.
Right.
I didn't elaborate as I should have in what I was trying to say. And they were correct. And I want them to know I'm willing to not only apologize, but also give them props for calling me out, being respectful and dignified. And I'm willing to split my paycheck from this podcast.
That means they're going to be a little bit less than happy with that.
Well, I mean, I can't help that. I got to pay bills with it first, but
right.
So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. That when I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I was wrong about that unequivocally. The more I thought about it, the more I was like, "You idiot."
Yeah. Well, it's good that you at least admit it. And again, like I said, sometimes the computer gets lost in translation. Sometimes it happens to me a lot. A lot of people don't understand when a joke is a joke, or if you're wrong or whatnot, or if you read something in the wrong context. It's sometimes people don't understand that.
Well, I want people to know that they're free to correct me, and if I am wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Hey.
Right. No, and that's true.
It happens all the time.
People are wrong, and it happens. Not everybody's always right 100% of the time, unfortunately.
Exactly. But see, all right. Last week we talked about the He-Man versus Thundercats, or He-Man and Thundercats crossover.
Right.
I sat down and started thinking, like I was reading it again because it was so awesome.
The new one comes out this week, right?
I'm not sure. I think so. It has to, right?
Yeah, I believe it does come out this week.
Well, what I realized when I was rereading it, something bothered me. And my glowing review is a little bit less glowing. But before I say that, this is wrong, this is horrible, I want to say that I don't know a lot about Monkeyan.
Okay.
I know that he's strong enough to saw a tree in half with a ball and chain. So that's pretty darn strong.
Yeah.
But I don't know a lot about his background or what his full capabilities are, right? So I don't know maybe what I'm talking about here. So please feel free, anybody who knows anything about Monkeyan and the mutants,
Well,
to elaborate.
He's supposedly the strength of the group. Like he's the more
Right, he's a muscle.
right. He's the muscle exactly
Right, but how
of
did
the
he make He-Man bleed? I mean, okay, I get he's a muscle as far as the mutants go.
mhm.
I can't imagine he's any stronger than Whiplash and Clawful.
I would say he's probably in the same realm as those
Right.
guys. You know.
I think so, but I don't want to say that. And I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
And my problem with it is that as human beings, if we get hit in the mouth, we're probably going to bleed, and that's understandable. And like we're all flawed like that. I mean, even if it doesn't hurt, we could still our gums will bleed, right?
Yeah.
But this isn't a human. This is He-Man, a guy that can literally lift a mountain.
Yeah, it's gonna take a lot more
Yeah,
for him to bleed.
it bothers me. I just have a hard time with the idea that Munchkin can make him bleed like that.
Yeah. Well, I actually didn't know that he made him bleed. I gotta reread it again. I usually what I do is like I when I get it, I read it, I put it away. So
Yeah,
when I get all of them, then I'll read them all at once.
right.
You know.
Well, for anyone who's interested, it's the scene where they where all of the mutants and the evil warriors they attack He-Man like out of nowhere,
Yeah.
and Evil Lynn brings them in, and and Monkey just just full on belts He-Man in the side of the face with his mace, and just blood. And they talk about, oh, blood's everywhere now, it's going to get all over us and it's hard to get out, right?
Yeah.
And then they made the comment, yeah, but it's so good, and this was before He-Man did his awesome "I'm too strong for gravity" thing, where he just said, oh yeah, I'm so strong I can't move, never mind, I'm so strong I can just move if I want to, forget you guys,
Right.
And that's where I got confused, was that if you're strong enough to withstand enough gravity that a man that can lift a mountain can't lift his own arms without being crushed into a tiny ball, then how do you get hit in the face and bleed?
Well, it might be a flush thing. I don't know.
I don't know. It just bothered me. It's just that I don't want people to think that I just suck up to everything that He-Man, It really did bother me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I'm nitpicking it because I'm a fan.
Yeah, I like I said, what I do is when like miniseries and stuff like that, when I get it, I read it and I put it away. So when I get all of them, I can read them and it'll make more sense. So
yeah, I do.
I have to. I don't remember him actually bleeding. I'd have to go back and see and reread it, or at least look at that page again.
You know what? I could be wrong. I could have seen the blood, like seen something, thought it was blood, and I have to look back at it again. Then.
Yeah,
but
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, that's what I want
to. Before you guys move on, I just want to point out He-Man Thundercats number 3 is on sale 12/21. So not this week, but next week.
Oh yeah, okay.
Next.
Thank you, Dirt. Yeah, I was just actually looking this week and it wasn't on there. All right, great. So all listeners, next week, the 21st, next week. Look forward to that. So that'll be on an upcoming podcast as well. We'll be talking about that because this is a great thing that they finally decided to do with this crossover. Again, it's 30 years in the making.
Yeah.
I'm
waiting for this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that we're going to be talking about. Hopefully, even past the 6 issues. It's going to be something great. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Now, all right. Beyond what I wanted to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
We had a topic.
Okay.
Would you buy She-Ra, like the Pop Princess of Power line back in the day, if it looked more like the He-Man line and how they did the He-Man figures? Do you think that it would have succeeded better?
Yeah, this is something that always had me boggled for the fact is that when they made Bo in the She-Ra toy line, that he wasn't like the men, like how they were made back then, because She-Ra and all the girls, they were kind of made like Evil and Teela and the Sorceress, sort of. But Bo was made totally different from anything like the He-Man figures, and it always bugged me. It did, honestly, because my sister is just 4 years younger than me, so she got into She-Ra, so I was able to have all her stuff, at the same time as I was into He-Man. So, but Bo was always like an
it sticks out.
Big time.
It looks like they tried to make you kind of match the line, but they didn't.
You're right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know the answer to that question, if it would have sold better or worse. Because it's a weird question to ask. Because we never did. If we would have got them both made simultaneously, and then we can always go back and see who had what in their collection still, or what they liked better being made. But we don't have that option, so
no, we don't.
I don't know. I mean,
now when I look back at it, I did not have a problem with Prince of Power. It was too pink and frilly for me, but I didn't have a problem with it. Like, I didn't think, oh, it's gay to own it, or whatever the vernacular was back then, where it wasn't really okay.
Right.
But I didn't have a problem with it, except that it wasn't my taste. Like, I played with anything. It didn't bother me. But the thing is that I feel like if they had have just kept with the formula, instead of trying to turn She-Ra into Barbie with a sword, if you look at all of the She-Ra models that have survived, they look like they stuck their fingers in a light socket. It's horrible. Their hair is all poofy, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, the figures definitely didn't stand the test of time.
No, they did.
But that was like a big thing when they announced making She-Ra and Pop and the girls in the classics line. Should they make them with rooted hair, or should they make them with the plastic hair?
Exactly. They should have stuck with the plastic way, because then boys would want it too.
Yeah,
boys
you could
want
say
someone that they have to comb their hair unless it looks like a giant bear man.
Yeah. See,
even then, have you ever seen a Grizzlord? Nobody ever combed that.
I don't think you could.
It would have been awesome. Have like the hair right down the middle.
Yeah, right. Give it hairstyles.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, I like plastic hair. If you're gonna, if they're all gonna be, to me, it just seems it suits them better as toys, as figures. But I can see that the originals had the rooted hair, and at least have like convention, like San Diego Comic-Con, like exclusives of the figures made with hair, plastic hair, not plastic hair, but like like rooted hair or whatever.
Right.
But maybe getting both styles, or have the figure come with both heads, one with rooted hair, one with plastic hair.
Yeah. Well, like you guys talked about in the other podcast a while back about why they made the decisions they did with the Pop line. And I can understand that they were so used to girl toys and they were trying to gear towards girls.
Yeah.
When I look at it, I go, I would have purchased this with absolutely zero issue if it matched the Teela and the Sorceress and the Evelyn figures. Right. I mean, it didn't have to look exactly the same, but it could have been of the same style. I would not have bought Bo. There's nothing you could have done to make me want Bo with a big old heart on his chest. Just it would not have happened.
Well, again, he stuck out like a sore thumb. He just I don't know.
But he was not appealing to me as a character, either in the show or as a figure. I never liked him. And so I would not have bought him. But the girl figures, I would have bought all of them.
Yeah, again, I was lucky my sister got him, so I kind of had him, you know.
Did they ever make a Queen Marlena figure from back in?
Yes, they did.
They did? I thought they did. I was trying to rack my brains on whether or not they did.
Yes,
and I didn't want to sound crazy by saying they did.
No, they did. They pretty much made everybody.
Yeah. I know they made Randor.
Who?
King Randor?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know they made him.
Yeah, that was the last wave of the He-Man figures.
Yeah, it was. And I was already in Berlin, Germany when that stuff came out. I never got it. I never got a hold of the last line.
Really? You were in Berlin at the time?
Yeah, I was in Berlin in 1988 to 1990.
Oh, wow.
When the wall was coming down. And I did run into I told a story in the first podcast when I was introducing myself. I ran into the New Adventures He-Man in a East German shop, thinking it was some knockoff crud. It looked terrible, and I didn't want it. And I ran into a Scareglow. It didn't look familiar. It said it was in German on the back, but I could read a little bit of German. It said it was a ghost of Skeletor.
Right.
And I was like, is this all? These are all East German knockoffs, because that's what East Germany did. Come to find out, it was real. I could have got it for a penny on the dollar.
Oh, man.
I passed it up and never found another Scareglow. Oh, God, I was so mad.
Oh, man. How was the presence of He-Man at the time when you were there?
It was weak.
Really? Really?
He-Man over there. You just, there was no He-Man anywhere really represented. You didn't get the cartoon wasn't showing on the 80s television.
No way. I would have thought completely different, because it's, to me, it was, Germany has like this love for He-Man. I thought it would be everywhere, you know, like.
You would think.
Wow.
But it wasn't, unfortunately.
Wow, that's shocking.
Trust me, if it was, I probably would never bought Ninja Turtles and just kept on with He-Man stuff.
Yeah.
But it was like an abrupt drop off of availability for He-Man. When I moved down to Texas before we went to Berlin, you couldn't find He-Man anywhere down there either.
Really?
It just disappeared. You couldn't find them.
Well, they sold out, or they just didn't have any?
No, that was about the time when they started losing the line and not supporting it so much anymore.
Okay.
And so, like, you know, like we said last time, if you don't support the line, it disappears.
Yeah.
Every successful line has evolved and changed and become something somewhat new and has succeeded. But if you let it die, it'll die, and no one will have any interest in it. You know?
Yeah, that's for sure. That's definitely for sure. Wow, I'm shocked right now about them not having anything really.
No, they didn't. Not even a little bit. I was shocked. Now I'm still shocked that I ran into that in an East German shop. And we go over there with like $20 and buy hundreds of dollars worth of stuff.
Really?
Yeah, East Germany, man. It was like going to Mexico back when the peso was so dirt cheap.
Right. That's how it was there?
Germany. You could go down there with $20 and buy tons of stuff.
Really? The ratio is like ridiculous amount?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I would go down there and come back with a knife collection, slate, vinyl records, baby blankets for my aunt, everything you can imagine. Winter clothes, a jacket. We spent like $20.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow, and back then $20 was kind of a lot of money, you know, like.
Yeah, well, it was, you know, we weren't living above the poverty line, so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still, I mean, it was a lot less than we would have got if we tried to spend it at the PX. You know?
Yeah. Did the stores take the American dollar there or no?
No, they only took marks, East German marks.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's definitely a downer though. I really would have thought differently. I mean, from
I
everything
really
I read and
wish it
see
was.
about Germany and He-Man, you know, you figure it was always this gigantic presence there ever since day one. And
You think?
yeah, I mean,
Fortunately, it just wasn't, or at least it wasn't in Berlin.
yeah,
Maybe in other places, but not Berlin.
wow. I mean, even with the 2000 X figures, they had Keldor in Germany. I remember my friend of mine getting me only in Toys R Us. Is if you showed up and bought 3 figures, you could get the Keldor figure. And
Right.
I had a friend of mine that was able to get me the bagged Keldor. That was the name of it
That's cool.
because it came
That
in a
is cool.
yeah, it came in a bag instead of the box. So and he hooked me up for just the regular price without the 3 other figures, which is pretty cool of him. So
That is cool.
yeah,
You know, you get everything. So
yeah, I had tried to at least.
I did talk to a couple of people that were willing to sell me some of their loyal subject figures.
Hmm.
One of them was only a lot sell, and he couldn't break it up, and it was just too much for me.
Yeah,
The other guy, he gave me a good price. I'm still interested, but he didn't have He-Man or Tila, and those are the two I want. So I'm
yeah.
still thinking about it.
Well,
Um,
Teela's one of the hard ones.
oh man,
Yeah, Teela, Evelyn, and Faker. Those are the 3 hardest to get.
Tila's the one I want. That's the one I really, really want, and I didn't even know it was a hard one to get. Of course it would
Yeah,
be.
I believe it's Evelyn, Teela, then Faker. And Faker's 1 in 96, and I forget what Teela and Evelyn are though, but that's the list of the hard guys. Everything else you can get pretty much in the box.
Well, cool. I mean, I know I want to buy them. You know,
Yeah,
I want to get them. You can't find them around here, so it's nice that people have them and are willing to give them up. You know, that they're extras.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I really love the way they look, the big heads and all that stuff. They're just so cool looking and so fun looking.
Yeah, I love them. I absolutely in love with that toy line.
I really do like them. I think that it just shows you can't take yourself too seriously. When you take yourself way too serious, you get mad because things aren't perfect, and it just ruins the fun. It ruins the fun for you, and it ruins the fun for everybody else.
Yeah, well, the one disappointment of the line I could truly say is that Tila does not come with her Cobra staff, and
What?
yeah, she's pictured with it. In all the pictures you'll see, she has a staff, the sword, and the shield like the 2000 X figure comes with. But
Yeah. Well, the original figure did too.
right, but now this version don't. Because when I got it, I was like, oh shit, I got gypped.
Yeah.
But apparently, speaking to people and putting it up on the forums or whatever, and yeah, they didn't make it. Um, the
Why
the
would they have the figure? I don't even want to know.
I don't know the whatever Jesus, I can't think of the name of the word I'm looking for, but
Mold.
no, it's just at the tip of my tongue. You said that. Ah, God.
Happens to me constantly.
The original prototype. Yeah, that's the word.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's the pictures they took of her with the Cobra staff, and
Okay.
unfortunately, I guess they ditched it to save money. I guess, but
What?
I don't know.
That's like you could ditch the sword and no one would
Exactly.
care.
Get rid of the sword and the shield and give me the staff, and I'm happy as hell.
Yeah, seriously. The
I mean,
staff is important.
yeah, that's her trademark weapon. That's not the sword and shield. That I don't know whoever thought that people would be happy with that, but no, she's a cool figure. The whole line is absolutely cool. I love the
I
line.
love it.
Yeah,
My favorite one to look at is Manny Face. It just looks so good.
yeah, many faces. All of them are done.
So cool.
They opened me up to buying GI Joe and some of the Transformers, some of the Turtles. So I mean, they're just awesome toys. They
Yeah, I
really
saw
are.
some of those toys for another couple lines out of Toys R Us, but they didn't have them for the He-Man.
Really?
And
Yeah.
I was like, are you serious?
Somebody probably came in and bought them all, because
No, they said they don't even carry them. I
well,
asked.
yeah, I've seen online that some people have bought them from Toys R Us and Hot Topic.
Oh yeah.
So they are scattered in certain places, but I'm sure once one Toys R Us gets them, they will get them. So, so if any listeners out there know of any Toys R Us is getting them or having them, let us know, because we'll let other people know, or put it on the forums and let other people know where they're at, because they're, a lot of people can't afford to buy a case of them. That's what I did. I bought actually 2 cases, and I'm returning one because I pretty much got everybody in one case, and I don't need the other one.
Get a second Tila at any point. Let me know.
Yeah, no, actually, Tila and Faker I bought separately from the first case, because I got everybody else. So
Yeah,
if you
more economic.
Yeah, I mean,
More economic to do it like that.
people, if you buy a case, you pretty much can get the whole set.
I would have to get like 2 of each because my son's gonna want them.
Yeah, yeah. Or just get him a couple.
Yeah, that's just it though. All my He-Mans belong to him. So
Yeah.
the only ones he's not allowed to play with are there's like 4 figures that I have up on a shelf that he can't play with because he already has them, and these are in like perfect condition.
Okay, which ones are they?
So, Battle Armor He-Man, Battle Armor Skeletor.
From what?
She,
The original line?
yes.
Okay.
The original.
Okay.
I only have the originals. I don't have any of the new ones.
Really? None of the classics?
Yeah.
None of the
I have none of it.
Really?
None
Okay.
of it. The only time it's ever come that classics have ever come down here, somebody would wait on the day that they were to be unboxed at the box and wait for them to be opened up, then take the whole box and buy it every single time. Nobody could get any.
Well, classics you can only buy online.
No, there's they had overflow at Big Lots.
Oh, the Big Lots
Actually
scandal.
have.
Yeah, yeah, that was a big thing.
Yeah. Now I was saying some. Oh, I have Evil Lynn, and I have Tila.
Okay.
And Tila's staying up there. Now they can play with Evil Lynn if they want. Tila is off limits.
Now, do you have all the
Lynn's.
weapons and everything, right?
No, I have no weapons for anybody.
Really?
Yeah, I have all loose figures. No accessories whatsoever.
But they're mint, right? Those 4?
Yes, these are mint.
Okay.
They are mint. They just lack the actual the weapons. So that's why I keep them up on the shelf, right?
Right.
And I ran into another Evil Lynn, and I gave that one to Madison,
Okay.
my daughter. Loves it.
Oh, that's good. That's
both of them love
good.
He-Man. Both of them do.
That's great.
So,
yeah.
I'm gonna have to get another Castle Grayskull because my son decided to try to open it up backwards and snap the tabs off.
Oh man, which ones? The ones that interlock?
When you have the hinges on the back and then you shut it and the little tabs fit into the slot.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They broke off.
He opened it up from the hinges and snapped the tabs.
Oh, it sucks.
Well, I bought it for him. It was from last Christmas. So I bought it for like $100 at a flea market in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
But it had everything in it.
Oh, that's cool.
Like it was in perfect condition. Emphasis on was.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you let kids play with your toys.
Well, it's for kids, so.
Yeah.
What? I'm gonna put them on the. I'm gonna put them on a shelf and tell them they can't play with it, and then it never gets the joy that I had.
Yeah.
He still enjoys it, you know. So what can I say, you know?
Yeah.
As long as he enjoys it.
Well, as long as he's having fun with it, you know, it's kind of, you know, take that in consideration. You know, if they're enjoying it.
I would, looking back at it, I would buy the Princess Power ones if I could come across them that didn't look like they got chewed on by a Rottweiler.
Yeah.
I would buy them.
Yeah, they're a little on the expensive side. The ones that I saw, because if I'm gonna invest in the vintage stuff now, where I'm at, I need the box.
Yeah.
I need it complete. You know,
Yeah.
as long as the condition is fairly well, but I need everything complete. And the what's the name of the castle? Oh man, I can't think of it. But the Shira's castle.
Oh, that. Yeah,
It
yeah.
has a lot of pieces, and a lot of it. I mean, it's just like it's hard to come by. So the ones that I saw are really pricey, and it's not, you know, something I can wait on or I don't really need right now. But so do you have any of the loyal subject figures?
No, I don't, because they don't. You can't buy them out here. I've been all the way to Texas and Ohio. Have yet to find any, but I also haven't been stopping at every single Toys R Us I find. You
Yeah, and all of them said they haven't had them yet.
know? Yeah, down here they just don't have them.
Yeah, well,
They look at me like I have an extra head.
yeah. Well, here in New York, the ones that I went to, they don't have them either. So that's the thing. But people have said they have bought them from there. I've read it
Yeah,
a lot. You know, I have read it. And
yeah. I mean, I'm just. I hope that they start being more mainstream and bringing these toys out, like these cruddy, terrible toys that are out. Some of these toys I'm looking at going, you want to pay for this? No. And I figure if WWE can get a line out to every single Walmart in existence, He-Man should be able to.
yeah, well, like I said last week, there's a lot of problems with retail and master.
Yeah.
The name of master. It's just been a horrible thing for them for the last couple of years. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but that's why when they made Matty Collector, it was kind of like great. You know, it's one way to at least get the figures, and then we fought for the all-in sub, and
it's less accessible, but at least you can get it. You know, if you have the wherewithal to go online and order this stuff, then it's great. But if you don't have the money and you happen to have the money at the time and want to drop by Walmart to buy it,
yeah,
it's not so great. You know?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do miss running to the stores on the weekends and people giving my number out to everybody and call me if you get this figure or if you get new toys.
Yep.
I miss the hunt, but at the same time, I was kind of relaxed. Like, all right, I got my all-in sub. I don't have to worry about driving and coming up empty-handed or wasting a whole day or my whole weekend dedicated to driving all these stores and coming up with nothing. So
yeah, but you sneeze and a $100 bill pops out your left nostril. You know, not everyone has that.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I don't know. I love the all-in sub with the classics figures. I have yet to.
I'm glad that it's there. I am.
I just waiting what Super 7 is going to do, because I think technically they're not allowed to do anything until January 1st. So once January 1st comes, let's hope we get some news.
I'm waiting with bated breath
on what they're going to do, because being that we have to wait till January 1st, the 2nd, or 3rd, or whatever. So January's out the door. So that's 1 month of figures. So maybe February we'll get something, but
yeah.
That's
well, I mean, like I would just be happy. There's a place in Dallas that sells the classics out of the store, and they're pretty great guys.
I'm sure they hike up the prices though, right?
The prices are like between $25 and $40, depending on what it is. They're in the package. I want to say it's Dallas Vintage Toys is the name of it. Just really great guys. And I go down there and I'm on cloud nine the whole time I'm in there. You know?
Yeah.
They even got the giant He-Mans, the big one, the really, really big ones that look just like the old ones. Yeah. They have those too.
Yeah, I got those. Those are cool. Those
they're expensive.
Yeah, they well,
cool.
They were $75 when they came out, and if you waited for like the Christmas sales, Cyber Mondays or whatever, you can get them for like $40. I was so ticked off when that happened because I spent $75 on these toys, and everybody was that waited, and they were smart for waiting. They got them for $39.99 or whatever.
I would like to volunteer right now that I wish I had enough money that I could drop on that and go, darn it, I should have waited.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what happened to me. But hey, more power to them for waiting and taking that chance. Like I'm the type of person like I'm not gonna wait. God forbid I don't get it and pay eBay prices because then that's the only place to go.
I've been there, man. I go to flea markets and search out old vintage figures. And man, I worked in one place in Ohio, and they were asking for eBay prices for their. Yeah. I mean, out of box, not even all the stuff on it.
Yeah.
Figure.
Well, some people think they have
Spike
gold.
Core. They want $14-15 for Spike Core. No accessories. And it's not boxed or anything. It's just standing there. Yeah. And I'm like, not even in great condition.
Well, again, that's why some people think they have gold when they don't, and
they don't.
That stinks when they do that, or when you come across that.
Yeah. When He-Man first started getting big again, it was gold. But then people started realizing, wait a minute, we can find this stuff in garages. Why are we paying?
Yeah.
I would like to find, all the accessories to go with the figures. That way, I have. That way I can have those, and I want to start collecting a sideline of the figures so that I have them and I can equip them and everything and have them in a case. And you got all the other ones for my kids that they can do whatever they want.
Yeah. Well, that's you gotta have yours and they gotta have theirs because when
they gotta come first.
Have yours, it's theirs, it's not yours anymore.
Right.
That's the one thing you gotta remember. And then
I gotta make sure they have theirs first. I will never own something that I don't have a double of for them. Except for Tila. Tila's mine. And like I was saying about the She-Ra line, if I could find some She-Ra stuff that you can find She-Ra herself loose, but she always looks like she's been chewed on. But you can't find any of the other old figures.
That's the pop line. They just loose. They're in terrible condition.
Yep.
All the time. Yeah, it's that rooted hair. Sometimes it's not right.
But what about the rooted hair makes them want to chew on the rest of the figure? It's sad. But I got a few figures that are just in pieces that I need to repair. But I just haven't been able to get around to it.
Okay. Which ones are those?
Oh, I got a bunch of them. I got a Merman. I got a couple of Skeletors. I have an extra battle armor Skeletor that needs to get repainted and have the feet fixed, but the chest still works.
Oh, that's good. Usually come across those, the chest don't work.
Yeah, I have a He-Man one that the chest doesn't work. But I have the vintage one. I mean, I have the perfect condition one that's up on my shelf. I always had a. Go ahead.
I always had a. 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 I always You have a what?
Thunder Punch He-Man. My son wants the thing that makes it that the little cap that's
Right,
in the back.
the cap gun.
Right, but I don't even know where to begin to look for those. I think you can get them at dollar store to come with a cap gun. I don't.
Yeah, you can get them at the dollar stores or eBay. I mean, you don't get the He-Man one. The He-Man one goes for like $125, which is ridiculous. But
Yeah,
you can get them. They're out there.
yeah.
They're
The
definitely.
well, with all the regulations, which are understandable on toy guns because people were getting killed, it's hard to you know, they've really cut back on a lot of that kind of stuff that we used to do when
Yeah.
we were kids.
Oh yeah. Now they have to be like fluorescent red, or
Yeah,
red and
they had to be like
yellow and
long
orange.
lines and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's a
I know
different type.
that I know that when you look at the old vintage line, I think the reason why it failed, why this pop line failed, was that they weren't giving credit to both genders. If you had Tila, Marlena, Evelyn, um and the sorceress, all of whom were selling like hotcakes to the boys, why do you think that the pop line wouldn't sell too? You know,
The pop line did sell. I don't think that's a question. It just didn't.
I meant to the boys.
I don't think it what as much as they thought it would sell.
Right.
Looking at basically She-Ra is He-Man was in almost half of I believe it's like almost half of the episodes he was in. So a lot of people consider She-Ra to be like season 3 of He-Man actually.
Yeah.
And with that being said, is maybe Mattel saw what the numbers were of people watching the cartoon and thinking, "All right, we're onto something here. We have a continuation of the Mess of the Universe line," and it didn't pan out as well as they thought because it wasn't Masters of the Universe.
Right.
You know,
Just like New Adventures was not
right,
Masters.
right. It wasn't. Because that's a completely different thing.
I don't even think it's canon anymore.
I do. I definitely do. But maybe we'll save that for next week.
I mean, yeah.
We'll talk. Like I said, that's New Adventures is completely on its own level. But Pop, it's just I mean, there's a lot of people that hold it near and dear to their heart, and then there's people who just don't like it. And
well, I didn't like the show growing up. I didn't mind the figures. Now I'll look at it and I'll watch the show, and the show's actually not bad.
You know, show again. It's half of the episodes have He-Man in it, or a He-Man character like Skeletor, Man at Arms, Orko. I liked it. Growing up, I liked it. I used to watch the He-Man She-Ra Power Hour all the time. You know, it wasn't He-Man, and that's what you had to accept. And I'll say that again for New Adventures. It wasn't.
Nah, I don't have to accept that.
You don't. You don't. And a lot of people don't. I didn't. I didn't when it came out. I hated it. I thought it was garbage. And again,
you were right.
But again, I'll save that for maybe next week. We'll talk.
Wonder how much hate mail I'm going to get on that one.
Yeah. You know. But again, who knows what happened with Masters of the Universe? Again, it's $1 billion entity that overnight disappeared. So it's crazy.
It is. And that's the saddest thing, is the same thing could have happened with the MYP line. But instead of looking at this line and going, okay, what about it what is it about these toys that this wildly popular cartoon is not selling these toys. What is it about them that's not selling?
Well,
instead of doing that, they just said pull the plug on the whole thing.
Well, I believe the case ratio for the figures is what killed the figures, and Cartoon Network just destroyed the cartoon because it flip-flopped the time scheduling. There was no commercials or anything in any comic books and magazines about when the show was on, or if there was a cartoon, or what. There's again, that's not like there was so many things that went along with why it failed. Basically, more or less, now I was older when it happened. I remember it, and I know more about it. But it again, it fell in Mattel's lap, and they just decided to let it fall to the ground instead of embracing and holding it and not letting anything bad happen to it.
They're like, it's like Harmony Gold. They want to have it, but they don't want to do anything with it.
Right. Exactly. Until you get a store like Super 7 to come and save them. I mean, I can't sometimes with Mattel.
It's frustrating.
It is.
Really frustrating.
It's really frustrating when it's something that you love and it just let it die. It's like,
well, I've seen some of the remake MYP figures. Some of the I have a couple of them. I have Manny faces, and I have
what, the repaints?
Merman. Remember where they came out? They were more like statues than figures, and they were like they're kind of rubbery. They weren't the original line because they weren't all hunched over like hunchbacks.
Well, they made the Stactions was like what people called it. It was the continuation of the toys, but they were basically statues.
Right. I got two of those, and I really liked the way they looked. The original ones I didn't care for because He-Man didn't look like He-Man to me, and he would just look too. I don't know. I can't really. It just didn't feel like He-Man.
Right.
And everybody was all hunched over and stuff, and I'm like, okay, that's fine for Beastman, but why do everybody else have to be like a hunchback, right?
Yeah.
And then I ran into a really small version of Ram Man. Like it was just like the big figure, but it was smaller.
Okay, yeah.
And like you could like hunch it forward, like the head forward and the shoulders, and then you push a button and it went. And it kind of mirrored the old toy, but it was so much better. And I really liked it. So if they would do that, if they had started with that and led with that, I think the line would have been a lot more successful. And as a result, Mattel would have continued to support it. And as a result, of course, maybe Cartoon Network would have continued to try better to keep the property afloat. We might have even gotten that next season. But because the figures that they started with were, to me, I didn't like them.
Well, they also did a lot of repaints that, again, cluttered the pegs that nobody wanted.
Yeah. I mean, why do I want a He-Man that's now blue and white?
Well,
there's no difference. It's just blue and white now.
Well, yeah. But Ice Hammer's a great figure. I think that was the best figure they ever made in that entire line. That and the Snake Hammer He-Man, the different version that they made.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. The one they made in Europe.
Yeah, with the snapper.
Yeah.
Grab people with his arm. I thought that was pretty cool, and I liked that they incorporated it into the show. Like, it was really cool, and it made a lot of sense, since He-Man is generally non-lethal anyway. To have a kind of a non-lethal grabbing weapon was kind of cool.
Right. Yeah.
And I feel like because the first run of the line didn't work, and they tried all these gimmicks that worked in the early 80s, and people aren't going to fall for it anymore.
Right. Well, again,
they're too expensive, and we're too smart.
It's a different time. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It might have worked once.
Do that again.
Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't work twice. Lightning sometimes doesn't strike in the same place two times. That's what they say.
He-Man was such an easy sell. They just had the same body with a couple of extra molds on it and repeated. Rinse and repeat. Put a different head on it. Give it a different weapon. Put a different,
Yeah.
They had 2 or 3 different types of feet, 2 or 3 different types of arms. They made 1,000,000 figures. I mean, it was the easiest sell in the world. Minimal output, maximum input.
Well, that was the big thing with the classics line that got me mad, was that I'm paying every month for basically Trapjaw's legs and a different body. I was getting so aggravated. It's like, how many times can you sell me the same toy over and over again? And then they don't want to add this weapon or cut back on the paint apps. I remember with Stinkor, when he was released, he had like I think his backpack wasn't painted, or his gun or something wasn't painted, and his
And
the
you want me to
mask.
pay 40, $50 for this? It's like, no, I'm not.
Well,
money is tight. I'm not going to spend it on something that's not done correctly.
Yeah, I don't blame you. So, all right, man. With that being said, it's a pretty good show. We can next time we're definitely gonna jump into the new adventures, because I'd like to hear what you'd have to say about it. And
Are you positive about that?
I like to. I love new adventures and talking about it. So.
You're gonna hate me so much.
Oh, that's fine. Oh, trust me.
So coming up next week, the last episode with Joshua Mead on the dock.
Yeah, nah. All right, man. So, do you want to, do say?
Goodness gracious, that's the worst segue. I have miles to go before I sleep, and promises to keep. Good night, everybody.
All right. I just want to say, everybody, thanks for listening. And again, if you know where if you're buying Loyal Subject Master Universe figures anywhere, Toys R Us, a Hot Topic, let us know. Let the forums know. Please go to popculturenetwork.com. Check out HeManWorld.com. Check out Masters of the Galaxy Facebook page. Check out the All Encompassing Facebook page. And Dirt, can you give out the hotline number, please?
Yeah, our 24-hour voicemail line is area code 217-953-4025.
Thank you, sir. And with that being said, rock on, and until next time, I'll see you later.
Bye, everybody.